Good evening and welcome to On Track Tuesday. Uh, you're probably all wondering, why am I hosting On Track Tuesday 2 weeks in a row when it should be Robert the Flying Crow's turn? Right? Right? That's what you're all wondering? Huh? Yeah, I bet you are. And anyway, before I explain the answer to that, of course, you got to know that do, 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 do. You got to know that we are coming to you live from. Thank you for the sound check, Olin. I appreciate that. All right, and uh, so Robert, for those that don't know, has an old Chevy Impala that's in mint condition. 67 or 68, I can't remember which one. And his dream is to drive that on Route 66. So Sunday, he and his bride drove up here to Oklahoma City, and I met them for dinner downtown and had a great evening before they started their westward bound trek out to the Grand Canyon on Old Route 66. All right. And his big dream is to stay in the Wigwam Motel in somewhere out in Arizona on Old Route 66. So that is what they are doing. And so he forgot to ask Jason to fill in, and Jason ended up being busy. So I have the honors of hosting again this week. All right. So that should answer that question. And of course, this, all right, last Oklahoma City Thunder are the current reigning NBA champions and won their first round game Sunday night, literally stomping 30 some points on Phoenix. So hopefully we have a successful playoff. I have asked one of my sidekicks. Last week I had Lynn pop in. This week I figured I would have another one of my sidekicks pop in. So, John, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
Can't complain.
And of course, John's coming to us from Rocky Top. I hold off on all the other music stuff except on my Friday show. So, anyway, we're just gonna be laid back tonight, folks. Answer questions, watch the chat. John and I are probably going to discuss cars and 3D printing. I am up to 42 different makes, years, and models of 3D printed cars and trucks. Fresh out of the printer are these little milkman trucks. Okay. And
Yeah.
I have one more set in the printer, 1969 Ford F-150s. So then I'm hopefully done. You know what my biggest problem was, John?
What's that?
It's, you know how, like with hot dogs, there's a mismatch in the count for a hot dog pack and a hot dog bun pack.
Yeah, of
The
course.
same holds true for auto racks. All right. So, I have to, like, I've got 6 Ford Falcons right here, but that's not enough to fill an auto rack. So and I've got an empty auto rack here.
Well,
So I gotta print some more Fords.
okay.
But then I'll have 1 or 2 too many, and then I'll need another auto rack. So
Well,
I've got
there is something you can do on the any cubic. You can hide 1 or 2 of them if you don't need the full set that you've got set up on a plate.
I'm gonna it takes the same amount of time to print a batch of 5 as it does 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Andy, you are mismatched. Yes, I am getting the money's worth out of that printer. It has been going pretty much nonstop. I'm up. I was on one of Boxcar Jerry's live streams yesterday, maybe, probably yesterday, and I made mention I'm up well above 300 vehicles printed so far. So I mean, and it's all Jason's fault. He started me on this.
Yeah. Now John says you're just using it as an excuse.
I see that. Yeah, John. I started out with 3 auto racks, and then it became 5 auto racks, and now it's 9 auto racks. How many is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's 9 auto racks right now. So, well, see, Andy, I model Chicago, and Chicago is the crossroads here for railroads, and anything basically going west out of Motown goes through Chicago. All right. Now it could go through St. Louis, but 9 times out of 10, it's still got to go through Chicago to get to St. Louis. So I plan on having, when I get to the shed layout, if I get to shed layout, having a intermodal or an auto rack facility there, and a couple. You can have your Tyco auto racks, Lynn, and have a couple of dealerships in the suburbs that have rail offloading ramps. So, and I did pick up. I've had a busy week, John. I also went to a train show.
Yeah, I saw most of your live stream, and then I had to stop and go back and watch the rest of it. I did see a little thing that you picked up. Yes.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. The I slipped up though. I was at one of the vendors and talking about a project I was going to be working on and trying to negotiate a price on an item. And I said, and I described the project, and Andy was watching. So I had to hurry up and get home and edit that out before that person watched the live stream and saw what I was doing. And I was successful at that, Andy. So don't you dare say anything. I did get it edited out before he realized what the heck was going on. And John, I can tell you afterwards.
Okay.
There's Uncle Wilmer. Hey. By the way, we didn't do roll call, so let's go back and do roll call.
Okay.
All right. First in was our buddy up north, Floyd Robbins. Welcome, Floyd. followed quickly by another buddy up north, James at Dundas Junction. Hey, James, I found James wanted a set of decals that I used for Robert's locomotive. And James, I found the sheet that I printed to do for Robert, and I can put these in the mail to you tomorrow. It's enough to do at least 2 locomotives. All right, let me know.
You may want to redo all his locomotives.
All of yeah, yeah. So let me know, James. I can put those in the mail tomorrow, or I can wait till next week after I get some more ink. Then Lynn followed by you. Then Andy. Andy's with us. Everybody celebrates his birthday every day, and that would be Schuylkill River John.
I think that's 497.
Yeah. And I think that Uncle Wilmer, of course, is here. What hell? Did I miss somebody? I think I missed somebody. Joe Rader. Joe's here. All right. I think that's it. Oh, nope. Dwight's here. Derek Wimberly. Hello, Derek Wimberly. Welcome. Bob at PKW Model Works. Welcome. Oh, yeah, Mike, rail artist. I missed a bunch of people. Man, how dare I do that? So,
yeah.
John, one of the other issues, and Lynn got a hold of me and was chastising me. Well, he wasn't chastising me, but he wanted to know how come the paint was soft on one of his taxis that I sent him. And so we started looking at it, and what it was, the paint was soft because the resin was leaking out. I told him, just put it outside and that resin will harden up. But I found out, John, that you can print a model hollow that's solid, but if the model, it wasn't designed solid, you can't make it solid on that program. You have you'd have to redo it. All right. So that's why
I don't think I've ever run into that yet on the ones I've been doing. Of course, I've been doing a lot of military stuff, and
some of my prints are, the models are solid, okay, and it's not an issue. Like these Ford Falcons. All right, they're solid, but yet these GTOs are hollow. So anyway, the fix is after I paint them and cut the toothpick off, because what I do is I drill the bottom of the model and stick a toothpick, super glue and toothpick up in them, so that when I'm painting and detailing, I got something to hold on to.
Okay.
Then I just come back and snip the toothpick, and that's when it can start leaking. If it does, I put it either outside or back in the cure machine. Yeah. Andy says need a new resin Viagra mix.
I saw that.
Yes, Dwight, you can. You can make it hollow inside in the slicer. I understand that. But if it's a hollow model, all right, my slicer program, the one that comes with the Anycubic, will not allow you to fill something that's hollow. It'll allow you to leave it solid or to hollow it out, but you can't go back. Can't make something solid that wasn't solid to begin with, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you would need something that would edit the actual STL file.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're editing the STL file when you're making it hollow.
But you can't go the other way.
You can't go the other way, right?
Yeah.
Not on that program. Maybe you can on another, but not on the one that came with our printers.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
anyway. So yeah.
So I've done a few more, of course. I
What'd you
really
find?
slacked off because I'm getting I got a train show coming up here the first part of next month in well, it's actually in Lebanon, but it's the Nashville train show. I got to go buy some flat cars because I'm like, I probably have a 40 car train now for all the 3D prints I've done. And if you haven't heard before, I do a lot of military prints. I was a tanker in the Army, and I like military stuff. So I'm trying to do time period of late 40s to mid 50s on my railroads. So that's what I'm also doing for the 3D prints. And I have to look up everything I'm going to print and make sure that it was used during the Korean War, which is time period I'm printing them for. So my most recent one, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but this is a
Cool.
T-28E2. It's got a 40 millimeter gun in the center, and then on each side of that is a 250 cal machine guns. And this was used up through Korea. It's on an M4 half-track chassis. And there's no interior detail on the cab on this one like my my other. I've got some mortar tracks, and then I've got some M3A1 personnel carriers. So they turned out pretty good. I noticed one thing: these little headlights on here. I got to watch it when I'm working on because about a third of them I broke off. So they're just going to have it. And I don't know what else to do with it, but and then you see the headlights. I used what Steve's been using for his chrome bumpers. That's that chrome pin that has I think it's what, a 0.8 fine tip on it. And I just do a little spot down in the center, and it actually makes a convex bubble there to look like a actual headlight. And then above it, you see the smaller light. I don't know if I can get any closer in that, but the red one, that's an IR light. They use that for at night because red light does not show as far as does white light. So the driver could still see right in front of him, but the enemy couldn't see him as well. Now that doesn't go for the new thermal sights on the tanks nowadays. You'd see that too. So, but anyway, I printed a couple of them. They turned out pretty good. Got them all painted up, and not much weathering because these are supposedly going to be new. And
hi, James, you're back. Let me ask James again. James, I don't know if you missed. I found the decal sheet I used for Robert, and it's enough to do 2 more locomotives. I can mail this out tomorrow, or you can wait till next week when I get some more ink. Just let me know.
Yeah, you can
ahead,
switch
John.
cameras around. That's all I printed this week.
That's all you printed?
Yeah, I've been busy around
I
here.
have been, the last 2 days, I've been printing older vehicles, like these milk trucks I showed you. All right, I still got to put the wheels on this one. And I've got, because in June when we meet up over at Jason's, I got to have a box of vehicles. Joe, I know Joe and others give away, JD does too, a boxcar to people that come and visit. All right, well, I'm going to give away cars. So I've got
a little cheaper than boxcars.
Well, not but a car would be, but I'm talking about a box of cars. So
Yeah.
anyway, for you, I've got a 1940 F-150, a 48 Divco milk truck, a 48 Tucker, a 49 Pontiac Delivery, a 49 Suburban, a 50 pickup, a 51 International van, 53 Pontiac Chieftain, and those are cool because the trunks, you can make them with the trunk opener or closed. So I've got some with open trunks that you put suitcases and stuff in. Anyway, and a 55 Ford panel truck. That's about as new as you go, right?
Yeah.
So
mid 50s, so 55. Yeah. I do have a black and white. Ambulance. Yeah, I do have a black and white 55 Chevy that it reminds me of a childhood friend that had a old 55 Chevy that he was restoring. I don't think he ever got it done, but he was supposed to be doing it in black and white. So black bottom with a white top, which was, I thought, pretty classic.
Yeah. I do have some two-tone. I painted some two-tones. Plus everybody gets a Batmobile and a DeLorean.
Yeah, well, I'll figure out how to use the Batmobile. What I can't remember, what did he use to make that?
Well, it was a 55 Lincoln Futura.
And didn't that have the big tail fins, or was that not?
Yes, but the Batmobile, they made them bigger, but yes.
Yeah. I always thought that was neat. Much better than the newer models.
Yeah, if you look up the 55, I think it's Lincoln. It's Ford or Lincoln Futura. That's hell, I'll put a link up for it. Yeah. Here's the link to a YouTube video about it. I think my links show up. Other people's links won't, but I think mine does.
Yes, it did come up.
I have some. I do have some early vans, early '60s vans. Hang on, what year are those? 62 Chevy vans with the flat front, and I've got them in vans, and I also have them as a kind of like almost like a pickup truck. And they were commonly used for like Bell Telephone and utility trucks, small utility trucks. So I only paid for one print file, and that was for a '66 Pontiac Bonneville off of Colts 3D, and it was a terrible file. The walls on it were too thin, and it was terrible. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, I gotta say, one of the files I bought for a deuce and a half, World War II deuce and a half, it was too fine of detail for the printer I have, and when I was cutting it out, I destroyed it. So that was one of the things I have in one of my junk loads that I made out of my 3D printer, failed prints, the base plates. I just cut it all up as scrap and put it in the in a gondola with piece of hard plastic under it, and they look pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't say much.
Bob asked,
myself.
Bob asked if I printed these in clear filament. No. There's pros and cons to that. I thought about it, but I just like the look of the black windows. If you go out and you look at, if I stand out in front of my house and cars go by, you don't see the inside of the vehicles. Okay, they're dark. Now clear, you could light them up easier, I guess, but I'm not interested in doing that either. So I opted for gray and then paint them with black windows. So.
And most of yours are going to be on auto racks anyway, so
yep.
They'll be flying by.
Yeah, Derek. The Batmobiles I'm talking about are the 1966 TV series Batmobile. So and they were made from the, like say, Lincoln Futura. So.
Yeah, I didn't have anything else I was working on. It's like my video camera. That's why I'm on my cell phone. I'm watching the comments on my computer on the live stream or the YouTube, but my camera stopped working. This computer is old and starting to give me a lot of problems.
There you go.
So it's
Floyd. Floyd just made the comment, Adam West is Batman. Yes.
Yes.
Correct. I remember our local theater advertised having the movie Batman. So, I mean, every little kid in my town was there. And, I mean, it was pandemonium. And then it turned out to be, everybody's expecting Adam West. It turned out to be the old 1920s or 30s serial Batman, with all these black and white movies. Oh my God! You want to talk about irate kids, man?
I can imagine, boy.
Hey, Ray Ron.
Hey, at least it had sound, right?
Yes, it did. All right. Lynn says I should have Mavericks and Pintos. John, would you like to explain to Lynn why I don't have Maverick and Pintos?
I'm not sure. The Pintos, didn't they come in the special auto racks that they folded up in?
That was the Vega.
The Vega.
Vega.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't know why.
Lynn, what was the first year a Pinto or a Maverick was produced?
I was probably too young to know that.
Well, it was well after my era of 1969. Okay. Now I printed some 1970 stuff, and I'm writing that off as new model year that came out in 69. Okay.
Yeah. You know, and the modern day here, the 2027 models will come out in June. So.
Right. I have some Mercuries, Lynn. I got Cougars. And I got Mercury Monterey's. I'm kind of limited in what's out there that's free. All right. Because I'm not going to pay $15 for a file, an STL file. Now, Cult 3D's got some reasonable ones. That's why I thought I'd pick up the Pontiac Bonneville, 66 Pontiac Bonneville, but then the file was terrible. didn't print worth a damn.
Yeah. Well, and that could be some of your settings. It could have been
No, I didn't have
developed for.
didn't have a damn thing to do with settings.
Okay.
It could have been developed to be, a bigger scale, and when it was reduced, the wall size shrunk. But I checked the file settings, and it's not the settings. So
Okay.
it was only one of two that I've tried that wouldn't print right.
And that's probably correct, Steve. I had that deuce and a half that I bought the program. It was the file was for a 1/35th scale. And I think reducing it to 1/87th made everything too thin.
But see, I have done that. I mean, I've had when you pull them up on the file, on the photon slicing file, where they're huge,
Yeah, and they're off the screen.
Yeah, and I've shrunk those down, no problem. So it's, I don't know.
Well, like what I was having a problem with is like the drive shafts. They were not much bigger than a hair as it was shrunk from 1/35th down to 1/87th. So they were very fine coming out of there, and I couldn't get them separated without breaking them.
I'm going to make myself big for a second.
Yeah, see, that's a pretty good size there, though.
See how fine the detail is on the bottom of these Falcons?
Yeah, but this Deucenaff was even finer than that. That's why I think I had a problem.
Most of them look like that. With no detail.
Under the bottom, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of the ones the half tracks, they have zero detail on the bottom. So, yeah, and even the back of the wheels are beveled to make them stronger. So, it's the way it goes. And I found that the free ones that these tracks came connected to the vehicle, and they are the worst things to try to cut out without breaking the track. Or I've tried several different ways of cutting them out. I've messed with my supports to try to make it easier, and it's just a pain. And so it I don't know. I haven't learned how to do my own supports yet. I always just let the computer or the program figure out the supports for it. And maybe that's something I need to do, is like take half of those track supports out or a third of them out to see if I can print them easier and they're not right up next to each other. And next time I print some of those, I'll take some close-up shots of what they look like when they come out of the 3D printer. But yeah. What's Derek?
I'm looking for something here. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
I did do something else. I printed a 3D load for my gondola scrap to see how that would turn out. And I don't know what went wrong with the bottom on this thing, but it separated, the second layer separated from the print and stayed on the supports. So, but the top it still fits in there. You can't tell that this angled area is there. So I don't care. I'm going to use it. I got to sand it just a tad because it's a little too tight. I have to pretty much force it in. So I'm going to make sure I loosen that up some, and so it goes in okay. But it looks pretty good in a gondola. Got see, one of my 40 plus CNEI gondolas. See, it just doesn't quite fit in there. Needed to make it a couple hundred smaller. But I'll fix that with some sandpaper. That's one thing good. These sand real easy. So yeah, I'll just shave off a little bit of it, but that's not bad, for what it cost me to print it. I think it was $1.14 in resin. And you go buy something like this from any of the suppliers, you can probably get two for what, $11, $12. So yeah, I think printing them is a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
But
and the estimate that the program gives you,
mm-hmm.
that's way high. Way
Yeah,
high.
it is.
A fraction of that.
I've found that out because, I've done like when I did these two T28E2s.
Yeah.
I swear it didn't go down more than a tablespoon worth of resin because, I checked the vat each time, and
Right.
so I think they were.
Hang on a second. Hey, Rusty. Thomas Grassi, I sent you that file to take a look at. Now that's the rescaled one. That's not the original. I can send that too, but all I did was take the original and scale it down dimensional wise. So anyway,
Put Derek's comment up on the screen. I think that's real important. Derek's comment, the last comment there.
That one?
Yeah. Well, it hasn't popped up on my main computer yet. Yes, that one. It has saved a lot of money, and it's especially something like Cult 3D that what I've been getting most of my files off of. Most of them in there are free. So, and you can find a lot of oddities that no manufacturer is making. It's like, okay, who's making this? No one.
Right.
What I was limited to was M47 tanks, which were made by, what's that, Mini? Who makes those? Mini something But I wasn't finding any M28s, which in Korea they were actually called T24s, I think. And nothing on the exterior was different. It was all interior stuff that had changed. So I can still use the M28 as I think it's 24 on my flatbed loads. But I was looking in there today, Stephen. I was trying to get a better way to tie them down than I've been doing. And I did a search, and that somebody has actually printed chain binders.
Huh.
And I know when we rail loaded our tanks in Germany, it was done by Chain, and they had chain binders on them. And the old German that was in coming along to check them had this long hammer-like thing, and he'd rap on that chain, and if it made a certain sound, it was tight enough. If it didn't make that sound, he'd tell you to redo it. So something I always remember. It was fun rail loading, but I'll tell most of the people, I've looked on Facebook and saw some absolutely gorgeous tie downs, and then they had the turrets facing forward. Modern tanks, and any tank that its gun tube sticks past its front slope was always turned to the back. More modern tanks have gun tube tie downs on the back decks where you swing the gun tube around and set it in this fold up cradle that has a metal strap that goes across the top, and you lock it down. That's because on like an M68-3, which I was on, the driver can't get out of the driver's compartment with the turret to the front. There's not enough room. And then you can't lock the loader's hatch from the outside. You have to lock it from the inside. Also, you don't have machine guns on top of your tanks because they didn't rail load with machine guns on top of the tanks. So just some of my pet peeves. Just gorgeous.
Welcome, Kyle and Mike. I gotta hurry up and get it in between.
I know
John's
I'm ranting.
thoughts.
I'm ranting. Yes, that's my rant for the night. But yeah,
that's fine. That's fine.
Oh well, I can. Let me try to grab
my rant
something.
My rant is leaky Prince.
Okay, so here's an M48 tank.
All right, hang on.
Okay. Here's an M48 tank. Gun tube is to the rear. Driver's hatch would be underneath the turret there. They go out through the back of their compartment into the turret to get out. And you notice there's no machine guns on the outside because I cut it off because it would have been stored inside the turret when you rail load. And if it's a new tank coming from a factory, it wouldn't even have the rail loads in there. It wouldn't have anything in the buffalo rack, which is in the back of the turret. That's where we kept our duffel bags when we went out to the field.
Okay. Question.
So, yeah,
Question.
That's my rant. Question, yes.
I gotta start raising my hand just to get a word in.
I'm sorry.
So if the machine gun is stored inside during transport, how do they lock the hatches?
You come out the loader's hatch and it is padlocked.
Okay, so it's padlocked. I don't care which one. Yeah. I said doesn't matter which one. I just want to know if the hatch is locked.
Yeah. The tank commander's hatch and the driver's hatch latch from the inside. The loader's hatch would have a lock on it on the outside, like a hasp, but it's pretty thick, and they were heavy-duty locks. But yeah, and like all your duffel bags that you're taking to the field with, you would be inside the tank. Everything's stored inside the tank.
If it wasn't lockable, then somebody could get in there and steal the machine guns. But yeah.
Right, and on the funny story, quick story, on the M48s here, I don't know if you can see it, but right there in the center, there's a little hatch.
Yeah,
and that's where one of their scopes would go out so they could see drive with the hatches closed. And those had an internal lock on them too. One time we needed a heater for one of our tanks, and we couldn't get any. This was in Texas. So we found another tank from another company that had left that unlocked, and you could reach down, open that, reach down inside there and release their driver's hatch. Well, when you do that, you slide it open, you get in the tank. And I got so good at repairing them and installing them that I could get a heater out in about 5 minutes, and it took me about 15 minutes to put it back in. So we misappropriated the heater and put it in one of our tanks. Funny story,
Absolutely.
but true story.
All right.
And I don't know if here's one last thing I'll show on this. Right here at the back center of the back
Yeah, I see the
deck,
gun carriage.
right? Yeah, see that V-shaped, upside down V-shape or
carriage.
A? That's what locks the turrets down. Now I've seen
gun
some
carriage.
3D models. I've seen some 3D models that actually have the tanks printed as a with the gun tube in the travel lock, and I thought about getting some of them, but they're all newer tanks, so it'd be too late or early for me, or late for me.
You know, John, when you gave me those different print settings
Mm-hmm.
for the supports,
Yes.
and you're right, you can practically peel models off
Mm-hmm.
with those settings. Makes it a whole lot between that and those cutters you recommended.
Well, I think, Steve, that's why the 3D print of the junk load separated. I think for that particular program, I need to go back in and have a much bigger contact to the 3D print, since it's pretty heavy. You know, it's probably a couple ounces, or maybe an ounce and a half. I haven't weighed it yet, but I'll have to weigh it. But I think that's the reason it pulled away, is because I didn't have enough contact. But yeah, reducing that connection point as fine as you can really does help. And I'm glad it worked for you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I've been as long cutting out one half track as it took me to reprint 4 more. And you know, when you go an hour and 15 minutes to have to cut something out, that's not fun at all.
No.
But again, it was to save the tracks. The rest of the half track came out fine. You know, I had no problem cutting it out, but just that the track has such fine detail and it's real thin. So yeah, I have to work on that. But 3D printing sure has changed the hobby. I think it's along the line almost as good as the invention of DCC.
Yeah. But I guarantee you somebody will find a way to crank up the costs
Well,
somehow. Like,
yeah.
well, just having all these file services that are making money off the files. And you know, the artists that are putting the files together, yeah, they deserve a royalty. I'm not bugging that. I looked up for an auto hauler, you know, truck, not an auto wreck, an auto hauler.
Mm-hmm.
Guy wanted $100 and some odd for the file, and no, you know, maybe if you build it for me. Even, you know,
yeah,
it's nuts.
Paint it and detail it, and yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what you can find in there. You know,
hey, Roy, when you coming to get your stuff? I need to go get my trailer. I need you to come get your stuff.
At least by mid-June, because aren't I supposed to stop and pick up your trailer for you?
I'll probably come and get it before then. If I can
okay.
If I can get Roy to come and pick his stuff up.
Yeah.
Dwight,
yeah,
send me the link for the car. There's car haulers, there's trailers, but they're not auto haulers like for a semi. And if they are, they're not very good ones that I've seen.
Yeah. And
but
then
send me a link and I'll take a look at it.
You also got to look at the year. for,
Yeah.
I don't know that in my era they had any car haulers,
I don't know.
but yeah, I do have one auto rack, and Steve, you will probably get it from me because I don't, well, I have the 50-foot box cars that they hauled cars in back, and that's my auto haulers. So yeah, I don't need
I'd
it.
like to know.
The only thing, you can't change the decaling on it.
Don't have to.
Okay, because it's
Did,
CNEI.
I understand. Did CNEI go through Bowling Green?
Well, it would have transferred to the L&N for that.
It's yes or no. Did it go through Bowling Green?
Yes.
Okay, then I can use it to haul Chevrolet Corvettes.
Okay, sounds good. I may send it to you before then, but if not, I'll bring it in June.
Well, if I make it over that way, and if I have time, I'll come over. Either I can come over, or we can meet part way, or whatever.
Yeah,
lunch or something.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Somewhere between probably what is it, Smithville or what?
Smithville.
What it is?
Yeah, that's about halfway. There's this nice little burger place out closer to your side. You would be coming in on 70, out at the edge of Smithville on the west side, that has pretty good hamburgers. I think it's Twisted Oaks or something like that.
All right, Dwight, there's a difference between an auto rack and an auto hauler. Auto rack is a train car. An auto hauler is a trailer for a tractor to pull.
Tractor is in tractor trailer truck.
Correct. Semi. I want an auto hauler. And I do not want a race car auto hauler that's enclosed. I want the open auto hauler.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see new cars delivered. They have to get them from the rail yard to the dealership. So anyway,
I have seen
anybody that finds that file, let me know.
I have seen some in Cult 3D or 3D. Cult 3D? Yeah, Cult 3D. I have seen some in there, but they're more modern ones.
Or as Roy would call them, a portable parking lot. Hello, Chris, model train aficionado. Hello, Randall. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping it up here anyway pretty soon. About 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why my thing now is. And I printed out a megaphone to go on top of my Dodge Monaco. For those that don't know the significance of that, that's the Bluesmobile. So.
Yeah. But it is.
Hey, JD. JD's out in the Pacific Northwest chasing trains up and down the Columbia River.
Oh, I thought he probably just got up from his nap, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it could be. It's only 5 o'clock out there.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's it. Yeah. But yeah, it's. Yeah, I still got 4 new bottles of resin that I haven't made my way through. But Steve prints. How many cars you print at a time? 6 to 9?
Anywhere depending on the car, 4 to 6.
Okay.
Well, I just printed a batch of American Motors AMXs, and they've got separate bumpers and a separate chassis underneath, a T type chassis or an I chassis underneath that slips in. So you can only get 3 on a print for that. Okay, good question, Bob. And I was going to ask somebody, I see all these programs that, make STL files from pictures. Okay. And I was going to ask if anybody had tried that yet as well.
Yeah, I've seen that advertised. I haven't looked at any of those programs yet. Yeah, I haven't looked at them yet.
Yeah, that's the other question. You got to have a big enough printer to print that trailer.
Well, you may be able to print it at an angle, 45 degrees. You may get enough distance.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. I know I had to print this at like a 15-degree angle to still get it on the print pallet. No, I did this flat. That's right. I did it flat.
So Thomas did makes figures using photos. So cool. Cool.
Well, what's the name of the program?
I don't know.
Well, tell us.
They make glue for the plate. Why? What? I don't understand what that comment is, Derek. Floyd says Oxford Miniatures has a 176 scale auto hauler.
Oh, he says it may be 176 style.
Yeah. See, I don't mind just the trailer, because I'll stick it. I have to put an older tractor underneath it. So, and thinking back to my childhood in the 60s, I don't think they had with the racking on the tractor. Okay, I think it was all hauled on the trailer. Nowadays, they put them above the cab and on the bed, the back bed of the tractor. So,
yeah, I don't recall seeing any when I was growing up. I'm a few years younger than you, but I don't recall seeing them myself. I guess I didn't really pay attention when I was a kid. I was usually sleeping when we were driving any place. So, but
Chris, MTA question. All right, I gotta find the question. Where's the question? Where's the question? I don't see the question.
Yeah, I'm going back.
Oh, for some reason, the smaller parts I'm trying to print not sticking to build my plate all of a sudden. Well, I don't know about that. No, there's yeah, I have a resin printer, so I don't know.
Yeah, what I understand is some of the filament printers don't do fine parts well in the first place.
Right.
That's why I went with resin, because I planned on printing smaller stuff. It gives finer detail than does a filament printer. Now, I'm sure with the newer ones they're coming out with, they may be great, but yeah.
Yeah, Joe wants to know if I'm doing a show tomorrow. I do have a premiere tomorrow. Normally, I do not do a workbench Wednesday when I do On Track Tuesday, but since this was, I have one ready to go for tomorrow because it's not my scheduled week to do this. So I will go ahead and load it up after to premiere tomorrow at 10:30 Central Time. So.
And Steve, this Friday I will not be on the Friday live and mail call.
Man, I'm gonna be a loner.
Yeah, I saw Lynn's not gonna be there
make it either.
Yeah, I got my buddy from Florida coming in, so he'll be here tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. All right. Chris, I have the same printer. Anycubic Photo Mono 4. Photon Mono 4. I think it's Photo Mono 4. Yeah, that's the same as mine, Chris. A couple things. Have you how old is your what's it called under there? That clear the reservoir
filament? Yes. The print, what do they call it?
It's not filament.
It's the plastic on the bottom of the pan.
Yeah, Chris, on the bottom of your reservoir, okay, it's clear plastic. And when it gets old, yes, when it gets old, it gets
foggy,
hazy, foggy, and the light has to come up in there to kind of to set the resin. So if it's not coming up through there well enough to get it set to connect to your build plate, that could be your problem. I went ahead and I bought a pack of 5 of those and 5 of the bed protector, the clear bed protectors as well.
It's screen protectors is what they call them.
Right, screen protectors. And then I forget what they call the clear thing on the reservoir.
I was trying to find mine. I got them here someplace.
I can see mine from here, but I don't know what they're called.
Yeah. But actually, I was getting an error program coming up that said I needed to change it, but I just kept hitting cancel.
That's based on the number of, that's just based on the number of prints. All right. If when it gets old, but it can cloud way before that if you're leaving the resin in the bed for long periods of time.
Yeah,
we cleaned everything. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Chris. I don't have any problems with my stuff sticking, other than when that bed reservoir bottom got real hazy.
Well, there's
only 2 weeks old. Those are all tidbits that need on the front side to answer questions. I'd be contacted 2 weeks old. I'd be contacting Photo Mono 4. That's what I'd be doing.
Well, there is something you can do if it's not sticking. I've watched several videos on this, and you can increase the time for the exposure time for the base. And you can increase that time. I think I did mine, so that's one thing they said about making it stick. Excuse me?
Is that in the slicer or in the settings of the printer?
It's in the slicing of it.
Okay.
You can set that to where the exposure time is 28 seconds instead of whatever your setting is for a normal layer. So that gives it a better adhesion to the build plate. So that's under the settings for for supports. So
you can
you can change the thickness of that one also. I've made mine thinner. And it's very flexible, so it helps you a little bit on taking the parts off of it.
Okay.
But
all right, we're over our hour, so let's wrap her on up. I want to thank everybody for joining us here at the Retirement Railroad 2.0. on Track Tuesday, special edition, filling in for Robert the Flying Crow. I will have a video out tomorrow. I'll load it up, and it is another version. I think it's the whole version of me running the train around the new Beaver route down at Roberts. And so with that, y'all have a great night. Bye now.
Take care, all.